It's been more than a month now, and I think God was setting me up for success this week by having me start all this last month. So I was praying today, usually I have an idea for the video theme, and it's Saturday night, and I still was kind of figuring this all out. This week I worked really hard on being healthy. Probably the healthiest week I've had in. So throughout the week, I was listening to a podcast that was talking about if you have good systems in place, then when things get hard, it won't all fall apart. And so I was so glad that I had started this a month ago, because this was kind of a rough week. I think before I had started this, I probably would have had a really hard time and binge eating and angry, grumpy kind of person. And so I actually challenged myself to eat extremely healthy this week. The first day it was really hard. I was like, oh, why am I doing this? I'm just making my life harder. But then I realized that if I do the hard stuff now and I get to the maintenance mode, it won't be so challenging once I reach my goal. So I didn't get like this overnight. And it was like the perfect storm creating all of this. So I need to be mindful and create the perfect reconstruction plan. The best way I've found to do that for me, and hopefully for you, I would think, is printing out that calendar. Was so easy, and then just writing down what you're doing good every day health-wise, and that's been the biggest breakthrough helpful thing I could tell you. So a few days I was talking with somebody on the phone, and we were talking about ways we're trying to not really cope, but I guess get through hard times, and how we're doing it differently than we did when we were younger and we're able to catch it and foresee problems, especially like depression and stuff and anxiety, and then having a plan so that it doesn't get bad. Oh, sorry, hold down here. So that was also reinforced when I watched Brittany's video this week, and she talked about taking care of herself, and which I was also thinking about, because I ended up, even though I way more than I wanted to, I ended up buying a few more clothes so that I'd have something that would fit and wasn't uncomfortable. So getting back to that perfect restoration plan, I wrote down things like exercise, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, learning maybe what my problem areas are and how I can improve them, and then just time. That's the big one, and grace for not being too hard on myself. I hadn't eaten this healthy in years, so that was good, and I know that was really good for me. But I ended up realizing a few things I was trying to avoid this week had snuck into it. I was kind of bummed about that, so I'm going to continue that on this week too. Yeah, like I said before, if I hadn't had all this stuff going on, trying to get better, healthy, feel better, mentally better, I know I would have crashed this week. A few things came up, and don't have to worry about it. It's normal life stuff. But just like the one day that was really hard, I was out somewhere, and instead of going home, we had a picnic at the park. So we kind of tried to turn it into a good day. And that brings me to the conclusion, I guess. I had watched a video by Sean Tucker. He's a photographer, and he'd been going through divorce, and he talked about how he was coping with the hardest time in his life. And it's a really good video. He's always pretty wise and real thoughtful. And he said, well, he knows he needs to mourn this loss, and so he's letting him be sad, but then he's also letting himself be distracted, kind of going back and forth, and let him go through the process, only not all at once, and not avoiding it, because it is something you have to go through. So anyways, I guess this is kind of like more explanation on like years ago I tried to lose weight. I was having problems. I would exercise a lot and I just couldn't keep it down, and I didn't realize how much mentally I had to fix before I could be okay enough to be able to be healthy, because it really all works together. So between the podcast, the photographer's video, Brittany's video, and talking with my friend on the phone, kind of changed the theme. So learning of ways to see through those hard times. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody or a medical professional if that's what you need. I've done it many times. So I know that's really helped me over the years, kind of mentally training my mind to know what to do when hard times come. So getting healthy is hard, but we can do it. I'll see you next week.